It's John Moshos from the Elm Street Diner in Stamford, Connecticut. I said I wanted to do this a couple weeks back, but John, as you could imagine, in our situation that we're in right now, especially businesses and restaurants, everyone's busy. It's hard to get some time to actually just sit and talk about things when you're preparing to go orders and getting your restaurant ready, because Connecticut is set to reopen with some outdoor dining. So, John, I guess the first thing we should talk about, we can't bury the lead. First and foremost, tell me how the restaurant is doing and what your plans are for opening to the public when you're allowed to do that.
You got it, Chris. First of all, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. The plan is, so Connecticut has, the governor has actually given a mandate Wednesday, May 20th. Restaurants are allowed to open, to continue takeout and delivery, but outdoor seating. So we've had to get a little creative and pivot because we don't have an outdoor patio.
Right.
And since there's a little uncertainty, we don't know when indoors will be open. There is some speculation at the end of June, but even at that point, they could go 50% capacity or maybe less for, let's say, the whole summer. There hasn't been an issue about permits, so we've decided to get a little creative and build a mini patio outdoors with some really nice plants, some furniture. We've had a lot of demand and requests from customers. They said that they think it'd be a great idea and they'd totally be up for this. It'd be super popular. So we're working on that quickly, vigilantly. We're trying to get everything together. Like I said, we've pivoted from one thing to another because it's what we want to do right now. The weather's beautiful. The summer's coming. So what we're going to do is we're planning on building a makeshift, let's say patio, if you call it, in our rear parking lot, adjacent to the back of the building. With the plan is about 8 tables right now, 8 four tops. So we're hoping to be able to accommodate about 32 people.
That's awesome. 32 people. And of course, you'll have the social distancing in place with.
Right. Yeah. Well, what we've done, we've measured enough space, 6 feet from each table. So that would be enough to give us 8. Normal circumstances, we might be able to have a lot more, but we took that into account right away. We are going to have like a barrier put up as well. And then we're also going to have all the other measures in place with our service regarding masks and gloves, sanitizer. We did get our paper menus today, so we will be doing a single-use paper menu. A lot of people either order off their phones or off Instagram. You could see our menu there, but we do have paper menus as requested per the CDC and the governor.
Right. And you haven't been shut down, buddy. You've been actually busting your rear end since this has all happened. So let's talk about that first. And listen, you all, now I have to say this, and you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to listen to a lot of kind words if that's okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
The Elm Street Diner is right down the street from where I work at the Yes Network. And I have to tell you, everything that the man that you see on the other side of this screen has done for us at that place is amazing. He takes care of us. The Elm Street Diner, in a way, if I can, is like the Yes Network's kitchen. He treats us like family. His family treats us like family. And when I tell you they take care of us to no end, let me be the first to tell you that is the God's honest truth. They do such a good job. And if you look at me, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know from my many posts from the Elm Street Diner, the hashtag is "It's not a diner." And there's a reason why I say that. It's because when you go into a diner, you expect like the traditional fare, like your mozzarella sticks and your French fries and your gravy fries. If from Jersey, you definitely need the disco fries.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so much more than that. Their dinner specials on a night in, night out basis are so creative and they're so unique. And the food, it's not just the menu, it's the food. The food is top quality, top notch, done by a staff that puts their heart into everything. And I want you to know that this is why I'm doing this right now. And I said this before.
I appreciate that.
No, I'll say it again. Any owner of any restaurant that wants to come on and talk to me about their business, this is something that hits me right here because my father-in-law has a dry cleaning business in Stamford. He's 78 years of age. He's been working every week since this happened. It's a business he's built for almost 50 years, as your parents have built the diner for over 30 years, John.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that people want to build up for that long.
Yeah.
And just let something like this knock them down. They've been through so much in their lives. And you could attest to this too. And I think you could talk on it more than I can, because
Yeah.
you're the business owner, not me. But just the vision of your mom and dad, you have taken that, and you and your sister have not only built on it, you've just made it insanely profitable. And the ideas you come up with, especially the DIY donut boxes, which I know we're going to get to.
Yeah.
But it's just, you're so creative, John, and you deserve everything that comes to you, buddy.
I appreciate that very much. Ultimately, that's the goal. We've been here. We opened, my parents, 1987. My sister and I have worked here since we're 10, 11 years old. So like you said, we want to grow, and we want to continue to grow on it, that we want to make it better. Generations pass, we've all worked hard, and this is unprecedented, the situation we're in. So March 16th, when we had a shutdown, we're saying, okay, we're not just going to go home and hang it up. We got a staff of 30 here. We're going to do the best to keep them going. But it's that that workhorse in us, that entrepreneurial spirit. We got to keep it going. What we've built, we got to get creative. We got to be innovative. We got to be different. And we got to feed everybody. We have our community that depends on us. We got first responders. We got great people like you guys at Yes. You guys have been great friends. I don't even think of you guys as customers. You're great friends. I know so many of you personally now for over 20 some years that you guys are open there. So those are the things that are keeping us going. We're trying our best, like I said, be different and unique. What can draw someone to us as opposed to somebody else, and having a personal touch to all of our customers. A relationship where it extends more than, like you said, just a customer. It becomes friends, and more than friends. So all those things have played a factor, and we're doing our best just to keep it going. We started thinking of the donut boxes, like we said we can get into, and we wanted to be here for everybody in our community, our employees, and everybody that that depends on us.
Just tell me about the donut kits, because you're thinking about taking this a little bit bigger. But just let me pump it up a little bit first. Guilty as charged. I've ordered two. This is why it was such a great idea and so innovative on your part. It's because we have two kids, as you know, my two lovely daughters, Mackenzie and Savannah, and it's rough on the kids. We're homeschooling them. There's not a lot for them to do when it's nice out. Those days have been few and far between. But when it's nice out, they can go out. They can play outside for a little bit. But when it's nasty outside and it's been cold, not so much today. I mean, today's beautiful.
Yeah, right.
But when it's been cold and the weather's been bad, if it's raining, there's so much iPad you could deal with before you're like, I'm bored and I need to do something else. And let me tell you, the hours of enjoyment they had with taking that donut box and just being their own chef. I mean, it was a breath of fresh air, especially when you started hitting it. I think you did it like a month before Easter. Then you had another one special for Easter, and then you had one for Mother's Day. Tell us a little bit more about what you're going to be doing with this in the future.
Yeah, again, we appreciate that. Our donuts are a homemade recipe, my dad's recipe here since 1987. And they've been super popular. We're known for them, and we've gotten crazy on Instagram with them, decorating them. So we sat around thinking about a week or two after the shutdown, how can we get these to people at home? So we got a little creative, and if you could see right now, our dining room was turned into a forest of donut boxes everywhere. So we become like a bakery.
I guess it would have to be that, John, if you're going to do this. Yeah.
So what we've done is we started, just all over our social media outlets, dozen donuts, Nutella, the syringes of peanut butter, Nutella, toppings, frosting, the way we decorate them here, all the different candies, chocolate, white chocolate, raspberry, caramel, all the stuff that's super popular. And we just put it into a box. We started just giving them some neighbors, and I had a friend of ours. There it is. Yeah, we had a couple of local influencers who just put them up, and next thing you know, we were just absolutely flooded with orders for them. Luckily, we're about 5 weeks in. It's just still going strong. We got a lot of demand. We got a lot of great people such as yourself who come back for multiple orders. We've been doing, we did them from, like you said, Mother's Day, Easter, holidays. It's been absolutely massive. We change them up all the time just to keep it creative and keep it going. Like you said, I know the kids are home, so we did think about that. But there's birthdays. There's so many people who've had birthdays
Yeah.
during the quarantine, and they're either bakeries are closed or they're not going to bakeries. And I've had, probably 40% of these orders have been for birthdays, and then people have loved them like you so much they've come back for another round. And now we're getting ready. We're thinking about graduation. Father's Day's coming, and we've had so much demand on our social media. Our page has been flooded with requests. I'm in LA, will you send it to me? I'm in Massachusetts, will you send me one? I'm in Florida, will you send me one? So right now, we're working on shipping all over the country. We have shipped in the tri-state area to a few people that we know. That's kind of the beginning of it. But the plan is right now we are working with somebody to start nationwide shipping on these donuts.
That is awesome. Oh my God. And we got to get the word out, because these donuts of your father's, Angelo's Donuts, need to be everywhere. Let me tell you something. From experience.
His recipe for sure. Yeah.
He's been doing it since 1987.
Well, we've been here since 1987. He's been doing those since I'd say 1980, 81, somewhere in that range. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
But I remember one morning I was there bright and early. Maybe I had to do something early for Yes. And he actually called me back into the kitchen when you could actually be next to somebody. Remember those days, John? And
not that long ago, right?
He called me back into the kitchen and he says, Chris, come here. You got to taste this. He drops the batter in. I watched it fry. He pulls it out. There is nothing like one of those donuts right out of the fryer. They melt in your mouth.
I always call them cotton candy. When they're hot in that moment,
oh
they just
my
melt.
God.
Yeah.
The cinnamon and the sugar and it's ridiculous. And then everything you put into that box to decorate them, it just makes them so much better. And
it's fun. Everybody can make what they like. Yeah.
Right. And it's easy to pick up. It's contactless delivery. You go out. You've done it with me, so I'll tell that to the people who may be worried about.
As much as I'd love to have you inside, you're my friend.
Right.
We have a table out back that you call us when you order. When you arrive, we bring the order out. We attach the receipt to it, and right now that's the way we got to do it. So we're adapting to that until things resume to some normalcy. But right now, just to make everybody comfortable. Just because we've been super careful. Our doors have been locked in here since March 16th. Nobody has been allowed inside. It's only been the same 3 or 4 of us in here. So as much as we'd love to have you and other friends in, it's just right now, just to play it safe for all of our customers, we haven't allowed anybody, but no delivery drivers. Nobody is allowed inside right now.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. And the 2 times I've gotten the donut kits, I've just needed to get out of the house without it being to go to the grocery store or to go to a Walmart or
I felt
to get
terrible.
something.
I want to say, Chris, come inside,
Yeah, and it just felt so good to feel normal and put the kids in the car and go somewhere so we could get something that they could have fun with. And just to give everybody an idea, I pulled up. There was a parking lot full of cars. God bless you. You deserve it. But there was a parking lot full of cars. You call John. You let him know you're there. He will come out, and people get out of their cars. They stay 6 feet or more apart from each other. We all know the deal.
Yeah.
And John will come out with a receipt and your name, and he'll just call your name. He will leave the donut box on the table there on their patio section. And you give him your credit card. He's wearing gloves. He'll take the credit card, take care of you inside, and then give you your receipt, and then you're on your way. Yeah. It's a very good process, and it's great food, and they're great donuts. You got to trust me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So moving forward, I know we talked about the patio you're trying to construct. Mm-hmm. What's the date, John, you're looking for to actually have people? And for people who know how the restaurant is situated, will this be on the Elm Street side, or will this be in the parking lot where the Halloween Boulevard entrance?
Right. So the plan is Wednesday. The governor has announced May 20th. Restaurants in Connecticut are allowed to have outdoor seating. So we're working right now in the back, our rear parking lot, which is on Halloween Boulevard. We've designated a space across the length of our building, which goes to about 3/4 of the way of our building, where we can distance the tables themselves. And the plan is to have those tables and kind of like a makeshift work area up and ready to go Wednesday morning for 8 a.m. for
And
breakfast.
what about bad weather? Do you have any cover, or is this
We have
just for
so we have those really big umbrellas
okay?
that are coming. So we're going to cover it because we've thought about that, obviously. Um, Again, it's everybody's trying to scramble right now to do stuff, so it's hard to get stuff. So what we found is we've got these really big umbrellas that'll cover about 2 tables and protect you from the heat too, because July, everybody wants to be outside right now. It's the beginning. We've also thought about July and August because we're prepping on being the whole summer having these tables. So we do have these really big umbrellas out there that are going to provide some shade and protection as well if it starts drizzling and from some extreme heat later on.
Just one more time, because I know you said it, but I just have to ask you, just so if people are just tuning in and they want to hear it again.
Sure.
How many people can you hold? And if there are people there that want to wait, will they have to wait in their car? How's that going to work?
So the plan is we were able to measure distance tables 8 4-tops. So we were able to get 32 seats in.
Okay.
We're waiting to see, obviously, from what we've gathered, there's going to be a lot of demand. We'll see.
I don't know if Sunday brunch. I didn't even bring up Sunday brunch.
Right, because the line usually goes out the door here on the weekend. So we don't know if we're going to go reservation only, on weekends. We'll see. Like, we're going to play it by ear. The plan is, and everybody's been great with this. You don't really need to tell anybody the distance. They've been everybody knows. They've been doing it on their own. Even delivery drivers picking up. I have a sign that says 5 feet back of the door, 6 feet back, and everybody's great. So the plan is, we'll have the table set up there. We'll always have 1 or 2 people out there. But if it is full, we are going to ask people just to remain in their cars until they are called. We'll get names and phone
and I
numbers.
guess all right. So you'll do it in a phone situation where you either text the person or you call the person that their table's ready and they can go.
Or if we're out there, the old-fashioned way, give them a good little whistle, come get their table.
Hey, any way to get them to the table.
It doesn't matter. It works. Yeah,
right.
It works.
But Wednesdays when that's going to happen, but you're still doing takeout orders. Are you still
takeout?
Are you still featuring dinner specials? Are you still featuring your whole menu? Are there any restrictions?
We're about 85% of our menus. Our entrees are a little limited.
Okay.
Just because we're not getting as much there. There's a shortage right now. It's difficult getting to certain things. But all the crazy stuff that you see on Instagram, for the most part, we have all that stuff. We are featuring new things every day too. We just posted an awesome short rib mac and cheese wrap with mozzarella sticks inside that people went crazy for. So
I wonder why, John.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, if anything says normal, it's eating like that for sure.
Yeah. We don't know what day it is. Every day is quarantine. Like, what day is it? Every day.
You have no idea how many times I turn to my wife Jackie and I say, "What day is it today?" Yeah. I have no idea. I'd be remiss, John, if I didn't sit here and I didn't ask you and didn't tell the people who didn't know about your ridiculous milkshakes. My girls have taken part in these on so many occasions.
Yeah.
It's so much better when you're in the restaurant. And I know that let me just give everybody a taste. Maybe people who don't know what Elm Street is, this is just a taste of what these look like. Okay, John has so many variations of this. This is just one picture, but they are out of this world good. And the girls go absolutely gaga for these. And I'm just wondering, now that we're going through these new times, are you still doing the milkshakes just at a lower intensity?
Well, no. One step ahead of you. I already thought of it. Trust me. We've been disappointed, to say the least, the last, few months we haven't been able to do them. But again, getting creative. So I did order the same type of glasses that we do make the milkshakes in plastic.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna be able to feature those, and we've thought about that. And we're super excited, especially because we know your girls are big fans of them. But so many people have asked about them, and just to be safe, we haven't done them to go. But starting Wednesday, when we are outside, we do have special plastic milkshake glasses, and we're going to get right back into it.
You think of everything. See, that's why the Elm Street Diner rules, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Last thing before we talk about our mutual love, and that's sports.
Yeah.
Because we have to do that. We couldn't do this without talking
Of
about
course.
sports.
That's what I'm waiting for too, though.
But we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up that you are going to be featured. Now, you've been on WNBC, local New York NBC.
Yeah.
You've been
ABC,
on ABC, News
Both of
12.
them, yeah.
You've been featured on, were you on the Travel Channel too?
This is originally Travel Channel, so they just transitioned it to Cooking Channel. So it's the same one.
The cooking. So Sunday night, everybody, if you want to see firsthand what we're talking about right now, but this was going back when everything was okay. So this is before social distancing. And
we filmed this about 24 months, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. We've been waiting a long time for this to come out.
But we were talking about it. I talked about it with the producer, and he said this is, I agreed, possibly a blessing in disguise when this is going to come out right now. Especially with everything that's happened, so we can get this exposure. We're super excited about it. So those milkshakes that we talked about are going to be featured. Titanic treats. We did a crazy peanut butter chocolate cheesecake one, I remember, and we have this insane pancake stack that no one's ever seen before. That's like an ice cream sundae. It's actually got an ice cream cone through the middle of it with Nutella, rainbow sprinkles, whipped cream. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're super excited. We have so many people asking about us. It's gonna be this Sunday night, 10 Eastern, Cooking Channel, Food Paradise.
Well, my DVR is already set. You know that. No problem. We have some comments. My buddy Mike Sheehan thinks your DIY donut package is a cute idea, and he's going to surprise his kids and his wife. So
thank you.
See, we're gonna.
Have them just reach out. We'll be happy. Tell them you know Chris, and we'll hook it up.
They just say Chris sent you. You'll be fine.
That's right. Absolutely.
Larry Fleischer, who's a beat writer during the Yankee season, I run into him, and that season as well. He says the shakes look incredible. So I just wanted to give a couple shout outs to the people who've been watching this live.
I appreciate that.
But we'd be faking everything if we didn't talk about sports, my friend.
Let's get into it.
And listen, this is going back to when, this first happened, and we thought maybe, just maybe, the NBA, MLB, this was going to be a passing thing, and we'd get back to normalcy. No one really knew, what the length of this was going to be. And now, of course, we're dealing with this almost going on 60 days. So having said that, you're a huge Lakers fan, and he's not a front runner. He's not a bandwagon guy. This guy, if you take blood, like do a little blood test, purple and gold comes out, not red. Trust me when I tell you. And to put it into perspective, he is also a Mets fan. So if this guy's a front runner.
Don't tell the guys that that though, but
he is not a front runner. He is a Laker fan through and through. So, John, with what was going on in the league this year, this had to absolutely destroy you that this happened.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. And that's the first thing I thought of, especially it's like we've waited 5 years to be good, and people are going to say, okay, 5 years, like you're laughing, but when you come to learn some excellence in a team and an organization, kind of like the Yankees, you expect them to be good. So this year, things have absolutely turned around. They got AD, and they really started to click. They came back from that East Coast trip. They beat the Bucks, and they had that big win against the Clippers that Sunday afternoon, which felt like seriously years ago. It's been 2 months. And I said, okay, now they're playoff ready. Let's go. And obviously this happens. And, obviously safety is first, but people are like, oh, shut the season down. And I'm like, there's no way they can shut the season down after, these guys have worked so hard to accomplish this. It's not just them. You have teams like Milwaukee. These guys have all worked really hard. And it's like, you play for the playoffs. You play to get to the championship. You don't play to have a shortened season. So, I believe in them, and I'm hoping they can come up with a way.
We're on live, though, so
that's all right.
I love you. I miss you.
I love you, and I miss you too. I'm hoping they can figure out a way, man. Some of these owners, Jeannie, Mark Cuban, they got to figure out a way If you got to shorten next season, as long as everyone's safe, I just think you can't. There's no way you can't have the playoffs and the finals.
Well, we talked about this before we came on, and
Yeah.
I actually recommended this. I did a video. We're doing the Yes We're Here videos for the S Network. Go to YouTube, type in Yes We're Here. You could watch all of them, and we've been doing this since the pandemic hit. But this was my first Yes We're Here video with Michael Grady, and this is something I kind of thought of. And look, I know people didn't want this, and purists looked at this and wanted to throw up, but you have to think about it now. I mean, you really do. And I showed this to John before we came on. I'm going to throw it up here full screen so everybody could see it nice and big. And let me lose this graphic with your number really quick.
Sure.
We'll go back to the diner in just a second. But if I knew what I was doing, that would help. There we go. So
it's okay. we don't want to see the Clippers down there anyway. Doesn't matter.
let me just explain my thought process in going and doing this before you take this and run with it. Now, my whole and John came up with great ideas to add on top of this. He would, because he's a great NBA fan. But my whole thing was, there's 30 teams in the league. You cannot punish the Lakers or the Bucks by making them play in the first round of games. And it also works giving them a first round bye, because it makes everything even after that first round. Now, what I did, the one wrinkle I made in this, now look, this is something the NBA could work around, and
sure,
I don't care what they do as long as they do it. To me, somebody said you have to, but you can't do it more than 24 teams. And I say boo to that. There's 30 NBA starved cities who want to see their team back on the floor in some kind of capacity. And I know it hasn't been the best season for a lot of teams, but you know what? It gives people hope. It gives fan bases hope. Heck, it gives the country hope. You and I both know sports is the great elixir, John.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Always. During a national tragedy, a personal tragedy, a world tragedy.
Sure. It brings us all together, right?
Yes, sports is that thing where you could sit in front of a TV for 3 hours and you could be normal for those 3 hours. Now, when it's therapy. It's therapy. When that 3 hours is over, then maybe things start hitting your brain again. But during those 3 hours, you can get lost. So they were talking about not too long ago about having one centralized location in Las Vegas with the opportunity to build like 20 some odd courts at one of the casinos.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, and you can keep everybody socially distanced, and we didn't have March Madness, John, why not do an NBA playoff bracket where every team is involved? It's a free-for-all. You don't really necessarily have to crown the NBA champion as your normal NBA champion. But like I said, it gives fans of all these teams at least one game to watch their teams one more time. And it gives fans like you, really great NBA fans, the opportunity to enjoy this absolute ridiculous knockdown into the championship series. And John came up with the idea. See, when I first came up with this, and I'll let John talk in a second. I know, John, I blab a lot. You know this. And John's going to break this down even better than me. But the one wrinkle before I keep going is I put the Raptors in the Lakers bracket and I put the Clippers in the Bucks bracket. So it wasn't easy for anybody. Okay? So those are the teams I flip-flopped. So now you have to go after it. And this is East and West teams mixed in every bracket. So it's a free-for-all. You know who you're going to get in the Elite Eight, the Final Four, and the championship. I think John and I know. But
but it still makes for good TV, though.
But you came up with a great idea from the Elite Eight on. So why don't you go ahead and wax poetic?
All right. So first and foremost, I'm going to tell you again, like I told you beforehand, the way you name these regions is going to be more perfect. So
yes,
we'll go with that. That's another story for another day.
Well, that's the NBA All-Star Game. I took some ideas because you got to remember something too. That NBA All-Star Game, that fourth quarter was ridiculous.
That was amazing.
That was like the NBA I grew up watching. They actually
great
defense.
And you know how I feel, and like I said, everybody can feel different. But my perspective is there will never be another Kobe. So we'll just that's on there.
Right.
That's good. But so before we spoke, I said okay, let's if the season resumes, how would it go? Remember, I said, okay, go right to the playoffs. But then you have a team who's like the 9th seed, and you say, okay, wait a minute. You're like a Portland who's making a run in the West, and say, wait a second. We caught some new momentum. We were back 5-6 games. We're only back 1 game of the East, the 8th seed. Why punish them? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to you, okay, you could do a tournament 6 through 12, maybe determine some playoff seeding. But what you showed me here, it's like, why not? It gives everybody a shot. You go in one more time. And listen, you got a team like the Warriors who you have listed as a 15 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were going to be eliminated, but you know what? They got one more shot. You're going to lose.
This is not my seeding, though. This goes by their record.
Exactly. So my point is, instead of saying, okay, these guys don't have, because a lot of these guys you'll hear maybe if teams were eliminated, we don't want to play because they have nothing to play for. But if you bring up something like this, all right, your chances are you're not going to win. But, a team like the Warriors, who knows, let's say, will they put, if Clay's healthy, will they put him back out there and throw him in there to 2-15 matchup? You don't know.
And John, too, something you have to understand is it's that mindset. It's that one game, that mindset of one game. Right. Hey, if we play well enough, we could run with these guys. If they don't hit their threes, if they don't, they don't hit big shots,
in college style,
take them out.
Yeah, you never know. Does a guy like KD come back for Brooklyn? You don't know. I liked it more than I thought I would. But you laid it out, and this, the framework here is outstanding. The first thing that came out to me, obviously, I was reading off to you who the Lakers would play each round, as I said to you. I'm looking at them, specifically. My first train of thought, as opposed to a typical bracket style, March Madness that we're used to, is the minute you hit that Elite Eight, I would start making it a series. So you go 2 out of 3 in that Elite Eight. Then you go into the next round and you make it like the NBA used to do. We talked about this also. The first round, do a 3 out of 5, probably because of time.
And that Elite Eight could be Lakers Rockets in a 3-game series.
Phenomenal.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you look at some of these matchups, and then you would have, potentially you're looking at a Lakers Raptors, 3 out of 5, and on the other end you're looking at a Bucks Clippers. Because if I said to you, a couple months ago, you can look at a Lakers Clippers final, I'd love to take those guys down in a final anytime.
See? Cool.
Yeah.
If you're a Laker fan, okay, and I know
nothing to be sweeter than beating them right now, right?
Exactly.
I mean, Boston. Nothing's better than beating Boston. I'll tell you
that. And that was my main reason for juxtaposing the Raptors and the Clippers with the thought that maybe the Lakers and the Clippers would meet in the final.
Right. I'm old school, so Boston first.
Right.
No, they're the best to beat, and then right now though, with the season, especially the way that Lakers handled in that right before, that was their last game before they played Brooklyn. So my suggestion is I would do that Elite Eight would go 2 out of 3. You make your let's say your regional final, and I'd go 3 out of 5 like the NBA used to in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you'd have amazing freaking basketball, man. 4 out of 7, and there you go. That's your finals. And if you look at some of these matchups, you got some intriguing stuff, man. You got the Mavericks, as a 7 seed. They can knock off the Clippers in a 1 game, man.
Yeah, they could.
That's what I mean. You got things like that makes it super interesting. So you got a lot of matchups. The Rockets could get hot against the Lakers, like you said.
The Celtics take out the Clippers. You don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I could definitely see that. Well, that was initially the first round matchup, and I was hoping it would have been. Because I know Dallas does give them some problems.
Or maybe Trae Young goes off in that opening round game and takes out the Celtics.
Yeah. He drops 50, and how phenomenal would that be? There you go. There go the Celtics. So
and who wouldn't want to have some of the younger stars around as the rounds keep getting older and as we keep advancing here? I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless. And let's be honest, both of us want to see sports. I mean, that's
without a doubt
the thing. It's got to be safe. The precautions have to be
number
taken. The players' lives and their families' lives and the support staff's lives and the officials,
everybody, absolutely.
Everyone that touches the sport that has to be involved in the sport, their health is paramount to everything else.
Before we even talk about it, of course.
Just a couple things. Jeff Perlish, our friend, who is
course.
watching. He said, "Hope you guys and your families are safe. Hopefully, life will get back to normal soon. We hope so too."
We hope to see you soon, Pearl.
My buddy Todd from back home in South River, New Jersey, said, "What about hockey?" And I really haven't thought about hockey, Todd, but
You're
yeah.
more there. I just am, I'm NBA man right now.
Yeah, NHL could probably do the same thing with a
Sure.
tournament.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
have like 3 or 4 arenas and just go after it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, we're gonna see something as I'm looking
But
at.
you got to realize also the NHL, not to cut you off, the NBA have a different issue. The NBA, they have no equipment on, and there's going to be more sweat, and you have that other issue.
Yeah.
A bodily, like fluid that comes off of them.
And that's the thing where you're not going to know to an extent of how this stuff works until someone actually goes and does it.
Right.
So we're not going to know. But the first step, as I'm looking up at my TV, NASCAR is resuming this Sunday. Now, look, they have pit crews. They have like 8 guys in the pit crew, and they have to be next to each other when they're fixing the cars. It comes down
and you also got to remember, the NBA has come public. They have guys who've been announced are positive. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, AD.
Kevin Durant.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So other leagues haven't. So that's another thing they're dealing with.
And Tony Pasqua from Sayreville, New Jersey, also the home of John Bon Jovi. He's joining us. So Tony's with us as well. But let's get back to the restaurant before we say goodbye to everybody.
Okay.
I just want, listen, I'm doing this not only because you're a friend. I consider you a brother. That I mean that. I consider you family.
Thank you.
And I know you do the same. But this is something that, like I said at the beginning of this, John, it hits home. It hits right here. Because my father-in-law is going through the same struggles that
we're all small business owners,
And it's a little bit harder to be creative when it's a dry cleaner and not a restaurant.
True. Very true.
So good on you but see, this is the thing I have to say. Before this stuff, before the what hit the fan, you were already changing the game for diners. I mean, you were a trendsetter. You were starting to do different things. You started milkshakes. You started decorating the donuts and starting to do that as a takeout specialty.
We got those crazy waffle towers.
Right. You have the waffle towers. You have the brunch on Sunday. Just do that for me for a second, because you have to explain to people the brunch on Sunday. They're bottomless mimosas.
Right.
You have the waffles. You have the Benedicts. That's where I'm getting to. Tell us about some of the Benedicts that you're doing, which are amazing.
So what we try and do is, you want classic eggs Benedict, we can make it for you. But again, I always say, so can every other diner. So what I like to do is put a twist on it and do some things where you won't see. We'll do like a buffalo chicken one. We've done a braised short ribs one with melted cheddar cheese. We've done those over garlic Parmesan fries and throw some eggs on top. So if you had a long night before, that'd be good as well. But that's what it is overall. Just that's the goal. Unique, creative, innovative, different. What would draw someone to us as opposed to going another place down the street?
And that's the thing. And that's what you've been able to do. And I think that's why you've been so successful during these tough times, is because people know the effort and the love that you put into your stuff. So that's why you've been successful. And don't forget, John's on Instagram. He's on TikTok as well. The diner is at Elm Street Diner. Real easy. And everything that we've been talking about throughout this Facebook Live, you could see either on TikTok. He does some great music videos with the food there.
Yeah.
And he also, everything in picture form on Instagram, even videos. And if you follow him on Instagram, he puts his stories together so you could see everything the diner is doing for that day. He's got great help from his sister Stella, his mom Helen, his father Angelo, his support staff too, Jose, Raphael, Renee. There's a bunch of guys that I'm leaving out here, but I just wanted to mention.
Yeah, everybody's great. We're a team here. It's most important.
Yeah.
So it's fun. We're at 62,000 followers right now on Instagram. We got so much more new things that we want to put out and just showcase and bring to everybody, because that's what it is. We're about hospitality. The most important thing is, bringing people here, having them leave happy, the big smile on their face, and just leaving you with a memorable experience.
And you do that every time, and that's why everybody comes back, and that's why the line is out the door and down the steps every Sunday. John, you can get takeout. Remember, the number's on the bottom of the screen here, 203-325-1141. They are open for takeout now, and they will be open for business outside, outdoor dining on this Wednesday coming up. So just make sure, is the information going to be on your website with the rules and everything else, John?
Yeah, it's going to be off, state mandates, CDC compliance. We're going to be all that. And we will be posting just, hourly on Instagram. We're going to keep everybody updated as well.
John, I appreciate it, man. And anytime you want to come on, if you have any updates, please, by all means, do it. I appreciate it. All right,
we'll get back on when the NBA season starts.
Yeah, how about that? Until then, my friend, that's John Moshos, no problem, of the Elm Street Diner. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tonight for River Rats episode 3. Me, Mike Tita, and Brian Sanborn will be coming at you once again with some old school movies. You should tune in, brother, because all the movies we talk about are movies we talk about.
They're good ones. They're real good ones.
Yeah, weird science. I'll leave it there.
That's all you got to say.
All right, brother.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take